How dare you ask for space after we canceled on your birthday last minute? We want to bring the present now. My husband and I host a tabletop game on a semi-regular basis. Until a few months ago, that included Joe and his girlfriend, Carrie. Before I go into what happened, let me give you a little background. My husband and I tried our best to be kind for Joe's sake, but Carrie is a difficult person. She thinks she is entitled to say and do whatever she wants, regardless of the consequences, without comment. At one point, my husband said it's important to consider how our actions affect others, and she responded, "That's your opinion." In the tabletop game we were playing, whenever we started strategizing, her character would get bored and wander off to get attention by doing plot derailing things like breaking the law in front of the town guards. One way to ensure she brought something up all the time was to say no. She often brought up playing at their house, which was 30 minutes out of the way. She convinced Joe to go on a divorce show with her. No, they've never even been engaged. Then kept suggesting my husband and I could also get on TV and make a few $100, and she couldn't understand why we weren't interested. Worst of all, she often made tone-deaf jokes about topics multiple people in the room had trauma with, including reproductive health and dead dogs, the last one being its own special story. Now, Joe was never the most punctual person in the world, but Carrie magnified that. They asked us to move the game to a weekday evening so Carrie could have the weekend for her occasional freelance work as a clown. Even with the move, they frequently canceled with little notice, often because Carrie had whoopsie planned something and forgot to put it on the calendar again. When they did show up, they could be over an hour late, always for very important reasons like she really wanted McDonald's instead of the pizza we'd already ordered. It became such an issue that we moved the start time later. So, naturally, they started arriving later. A couple weeks before my birthday, I texted the group saying I had made plans for the weekends before and after the actual day and invited the group to join either. Joe and Carrie were going to be out of town both weekends, but, at their suggestion, the group planned a low-key game night on my birthday, which was a Tuesday. The Saturday before, Joe cancels. Why? He just remembered he had concert tickets that day. He was sorry. Carrie said it's not my fault, I don't even like rock concerts, let's move to Monday. As they knew, hubby and I had limited to no reception over the weekend, so even if I had wanted to coordinate rescheduling, it was too late. I wrote, "I'm celebrating my birthday on the day I was born with whoever wants to join." That Tuesday, another friend got sick and we ended up canceling the night altogether. For this and various more serious, unrelated reasons, that week was really rough. Hubby and I decided to cancel our next game night, saying I was still feeling raw about everything and wasn't up for hanging out just yet. Everyone else said they understood and take care. Carrie asked if they could still bring me a present. I said I appreciated but just needed space for the moment. She exploded. I got a lengthy text about how she doesn't like the way I've been speaking to her. They had gotten the tickets months ago, it was an honest mistake, and acting like we've done something wrong is not okay. She said my texts were aggressive and made her feel scolded, that I should have sent her a personalized message if I had a problem, and that I have no right to have a problem anyway. At one point, I mentioned how deflating it can be to clean and prep a house only for people to cancel, so she suggested they help by hosting the game at their house. Oh, and by the way, they'd like to come by really soon with the present. The present got brought up a lot. Later in the conversation, they accidentally pasted the full dialogue with ChatGPT they'd been using to write to us. She defended this by saying she was just using it to make the conversation less emotional. We could see she had written things like, "Add in that I won't monitor her feelings." I really did try to smooth things over, but ultimately, she decided to walk away from the game. She told Joe she was going to show grace by stepping aside so that he could maintain a friendship with us. All she asked was he make it clear that he agrees we're being unfair. She's done nothing wrong. The problem was my trauma, and he was not going to tolerate our calling her rude or insensitive. Well, graceful as that was of her, our friendship with Joe has also ended.
The house only for people to cancel, so she suggested they help by hosting the game at their house.